Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about the Lollapalooza Effect. No, this does not have much to do with the music festival. Instead, it has to do with a concept, with a term that was popularized by our good friend, Charlie Munger, who we've talked about quite a bit here at No Days Off over the past 200 plus episodes. Charlie is the godfather of mental models. We love to dive into various mental models here at No Days Off. If you're part of the No Days Off Nation, I'm hoping that you are leveraging many of the mental models that Charlie has taught us in your world, in your business world, in your personal world. We're also going to, talk a little bit around decision-making and thinking and some of these other things that we've discussed in past episodes, because the Lollapalooza effect refers to a situation where multiple factors, each with a small impact, combine in a cumulative sort of way to create a significant overall effect. Again, a lot of these factors that we're going to describe here now are things that we've talked about in past episodes. So stick with me here. I'm going to do a better job explaining Lollapalooza effect and how to use it to your advantage. Okay, so let's come up with an example. Okay, let's imagine a scenario where people are investing in a popular technology stock, and they're doing so in a market boom, right? Arguably, that moment can be right now. So let's take a popular stock, particularly one in the technology space. It's a market boom, and people are investing in this popular stock. Several cognitive biases could potentially converge here and create this Lollapalooza effect. Let me explain. First, when we're talking about bias, the first factor leading to a Lollapalooza effect in this example, you have things like herding bias. What is herding bias? Herding is when people follow a crowd, especially when there's a lot of excitement. So let's think about this stock. There's a market boom. It's popular. People tend to follow a crowd. You see people on social media, or maybe people in your social circle, the environment in which you operate. Maybe they're all hot on a particular stock. As more individuals invest in this stock and they share the successes they're having, others tend to be influenced to join in. This is known as herding bias. Now, let's start with herding bias. Right now, let's move into another bias we've talked about here at No Days Off, the overconfidence bias. In this example, maybe investors become overconfident about the continuous success of this stock. And what do? They ignore risk and they ignore signs of a market bubble. There's an anchoring bias where investors might anchor their expectations to recent high prices of that stock and just assuming that the upward trend will persist. Then you've got loss aversion. People tend to be more averse to losses than they are motivated by equal gains. So investors who have already made profits in technology stock may become increasingly unwilling to sell. So there's this loss aversion. I don't want to sell, even if there's warning signs or changing market conditions. There may be fear of missing out on future gains. So to recap, we've got a herding bias, following a crowd. You have an overconfidence bias, where we think it's going to continually grow and grow and grow, and we may ignore risks. You've got anchoring bias, where we anchor expectations to recent high prices, assuming the market will continue to persist. And then lastly, you have loss aversion, right? Our lack of desire to sell for fear of missing out on future gain. Now, as these biases interact and they reinforce each other, this is the Lollapalooza effect. The Lollapalooza effect occurs because each of these factors interacts with one another and reinforce one another in like this continuous loop. And this contributes to a situation in this example where a significant number of individuals are making investment decisions based on this combination, based on this Lollapalooza effect. This collective behavior can drive the prices up to unsustainable levels and may eventually lead to some sort of correction. We see this happen in stock all the time, where things go on a run and they go on a run because of all these factors combining and giving the illusion to many investors unable to separate their emotion from the equation, give the illusion that this run's going to happen forever. Let's give another example. Let's use a sales business, for example. Let's say you want to, and this is in a positive direction, unlike the last one, which implied maybe over-reliance on certain things leads to an effect that could have a negative impact. In this particular case, I want you to think about the Lollapalooza effect, the combining of multiple factors to lead towards a positive result in your sales business. So let's consider a scenario in a sales business where the Lollapalooza effect manifests through the convergence of these multiple factors that lead to increased sales. Number one, social proof and bandwagon effect. Let's say a company launches a new product and it encourages its early users to share their positive experiences on social media. When people see these endorsements, right, there's this bandwagon effect. And others naturally become more interested in the product and they think maybe it's valuable. If they see other people using it, it creates this social proof and this bandwagon effect. Then if you're the company and you leverage scarcity bias, so say you've got a marketing strategy that emphasizes limited availability or some sort of time-limited offer, that scarcity, drives this scarcity bias that kicks in, and it creates a sense of urgency for customers who don't want to miss out on the opportunity. Then you've got this authority bias that maybe comes into play. If the company showcases, let's say, endorsements from experts or influencers or celebrities, and they endorse the product, customers are more likely to trust and buy it because these authority figures they respect, and they admire. And then lastly, you've got a consistency bias. The company encourages its customers to make small steps or take small steps or commitments and express interest. Once they take that step, like signing up for a newsletter or participating in a survey, well, they're likely to continue down that path and taking action and may purchase the end product. So what am I trying to say here? In this particular scenario, in this sales business, you've got these biases, you've got these psychological principles, they all converge. And the Lollapalooza effect occurs, which leads to this business having a surge in sales. Again, to recap, social proof and like a bandwagon effect that's combined with scarcity, that's then combined with an endorsement, which creates this authority bias. And then that's combined with consistency bias, which is giving people the ability to take small steps before a major purchase. When you take all of these things and combine them into one, the Lollapalooza effect takes hold and it leads to a surge in sales. I'll give you one last quick example to think through. Let's talk about, you want to make personal, positive behavior change, right? Let's say personally you want to make a positive behavior change. We would do things like create habits. So we'd have habit formation, and then we'd look for social support or peer influence, and then maybe we gamify, and maybe we create some reward for ourselves or incentive for ourselves, and then lastly, maybe we track the heck out of these things and have a feedback loop, right? So if you want to have positive behavior change, you don't just create habits. If you want to let the Lollapalooza effect, start to play or have a major impact here. You don't just form habits. Instead, you're going to form habits, but introduce accountability or social support and maybe gamify it and reward yourself. And then lastly, track. And these 5 things in combination create a massive, massive effect and drive to a desired result. These positive elements, they converge. And this convergence, again, is known as the Lollapalooza effect. So the focusing question really for you today, right? Here at No Days Off, we're aiming to get better each and every day. Every single day. In business, in life, in relationships, in health. It doesn't matter. You're just getting better a little bit better every day. If you want to maximize or even accelerate your improvements, instead of just focusing on maybe an aspect like habit building in this scenario, in the last example I gave, or maybe just tracking or gamifying, instead of just doing those things, which will make an impact, if you want to create a Lollapalooza effect, combine all of these things and let them each play a small role. And the sum of all of these small roles, these small activities, the sum of these things actually leads to something extraordinary. So if you're running a business, if you're looking to build a better relationship, if you're looking to improve your health, whatever it is, think about it from a 360-degree perspective. What are the various things that you can incorporate, and in doing so, have this combined effect? This works positively, but keep in mind it could also work very negatively, as explained in the stock example I gave. So give this a little bit more thought. I know this is a little bit deeper a topic, probably one you have to listen to one more time to fully understand Lollapalooza Effect and how to use it to your advantage. But I think when you do understand this and you're looking at things from 360 degrees, you're seeing it from multiple dimensions and angles, you will be that much better a business person, that much better a parent, that much better a friend. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.